¿Y quién está allá atrás con quién? Preséntalo para que entre.
Bueno, yo no sé, pero es alguien que se llama Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Welcome to Puerto Rico.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here.
Yes. So, someone took your chair.
Bring me the chart. Finally got this little big-eared bastard.
Yeah, come on. He's kind of annoying, right?
He's cute.
Welcome to Puerto Rico. I hope you're having a nice time today.
I'm having a blast. So much fun, especially with this little one. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, man, I think we should start from what people want to know. Do you know the recipe for El Pollos Hermanos? Can you give it to us?
If I gave you the recipe for Los Pollos Hermanos, I would have to kill you. You still want it?
No, it's okay. I'm fine.
Maybe I will allow you into my kitchen if you can cook.
I can, yeah. I'll bring you my
Cook what?
resume.
So you've been an actor, your career has been a really long and distinguished career. And I think we all want to know if you can talk to us about how you started and how your career developed.
Well, I started when I was 8 years old, so I was very young. And I believe that if you want to be an actor, you start in the theater, because the theater gives you a certain kind of discipline to be able to cultivate a craft. Because acting is doing something over and over again and nurturing a craft so that you're able to perform it. And so what I recommend is, I was a reader when I was a kid. So if you can read a lot and imbibe material, and then think of different ways to say words, you then can start to formulate an acting career. But then after that you study. I studied on the fly, I call it, because I did 8 Broadway musicals before I was 12 years old.
Wow.
Quite a few. And I wound up finishing I did about 14 Broadway musicals in all. And then I made a decision to become a dramatic actor. I was what you'd call a song and dance man. And I wanted to develop my craft on a deeper level across many mediums. So in acting, you can be in the theater and do a straight drama. You can also be a musical and do a musical comedy. But then you can do television and film with more serious roles. So I started at 8 years old, and I worked in musical comedy until I was 16, 17. And then I went to learn how to do straight drama by doing plays. And plays are very much like this. You're on a stage, you're doing what the author has written for a 2-hour drama, and it develops a different part of yourself.
I want to tell everybody, watchers down there, if you want to ask a question, just go up to him and he has a microphone. So if you want to ask a question, just head down to watcher.
Yeah. There you go. So, man, you have done a lot of iconic villains over the years. How do you prepare to get into that character that is menacing and can, bring some fear?
Well, if it's written really well, and many of my villainous characters have good writing to them, but I look at the background of the character, and that's mainly what drops me into a place to understand what's informing the character's decision. What does the character want? And so there's the character work of working on the background of who that person is, aka Gustavo Fring, where he's from, Chile, what he wants. He wants to take over the Salamanca drug business, why he wants that, he thinks he could do it better. And you put all the little building blocks together, and then it becomes seamless to figure out how you're able to do that every time with different words every week of every show.
I think someone is going to ask you. Yeah, sure.
Hi, my name is Natalia. I loved you as Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. And so I wanted to know how was being in a video game versus all your other experiences in TV, movies, plays.
A very different experience because Far Cry 6 it was actually me being shot in a room that's called a volume, very much like The Mandalorian. But in The Mandalorian, I had a costume. In Far Cry 6, I had a green suit on, a leotard. All of my knuckles and everything that articulated on my body had a sensor on it. I had a football helmet on my head that had a rail on the front with a light facing me and 3 cameras recording my face. And equally so, the whole room, the ceiling and all the walls were recording my action within that space. So it was a very technical, and I'm carrying a belt with all the batteries on it. So it's really motion capture, and it's very, very technical. And so when if I were talking to you, it'd be like having really thick glasses on because I've got to look through my frames to see you and relate and really do the scene so they could record the motions of my eyes and my cheeks and my mouth. And so it's really arduous work, but I found it fascinating. Then they take all that and they give it to people who sit and colorize you and create you all over again digitally. So I love doing that particular show because it taught me a new skill.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we got somebody here that has a message for you, so I'm just gonna pass the mic. I'm kind of scared here.
I come here in a warm, or I come here in cold.
Well, ma'am.
Can you read that? He said that he can be doing warm or be doing cold.
One or,
Warm as in hot or cold.
well, you're talking, he's talking. Wait. Bring it! Where's my dog saber? I'll chop your ass up. Bring me the child. Okay, what were you saying? Don't come any closer. I will have to kill you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good. He lives! He lives!
Oh, okay.
Next question.
Hi, I loved your work as Gus Fring in Breaking Bad a lot, but I was also going to ask, how does it feel to have 2 characters of yours both die in explosions?
You know, it felt really awful the first time, and the second time wasn't so bad because I was already dead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How challenging was filming that guy's death because it was so epic?
Which death? The first or the second one?
The first one.
I've died so many times in the movies. The biggest trauma is to be able to say goodbye to that character. It depends. I mean, in Breaking Bad, I had to do 25, 30 takes before we had that one particular angle, and then they shoot it from many other angles. It's always interesting to die because you have to convince the audience that you really are dead. And so a different kind of death in Mandalorian because I go over the hill and you never see me. So you never really see me dead. So you never know. But I've died many times, and when you do see me, I died in NYPD Blue. I supposedly died in Kaleidoscope, but you don't see me dead there either. You hear the gunshot. So I'm very particular about outlining and understanding if there's a possibility that I'm dead, or just dead.
Sort of dead.
Sort of dead.
Next question.
Hello there. Welcome to Puerto Rico ComicCon. I like your character on the series Breaking Bad, Christopher Strange, but my question is, how did it feel to work on a Star Wars franchise and to be able to wear all the costume and the helmet, and how did it feel?
It felt much like you feel right now. A little warm, a little uncomfortable. You look really great. Yours is probably a lot lighter than mine. Yeah, baby. You know, sometimes as an actor, you have a costume that really can be of different, it can be cumbersome. And so the first season costume for Mandalorian was fluid and flowing, and it felt softer than most until sometimes they put on the breastplate, other times I didn't have that. So I felt a little more mobile. In that third season where I had the best scar, that stuff was heavy. But I didn't mind it because it made me feel really powerful, like really powerful. Although it was heavy and really thick, I felt that it was impenetrable. So it felt really good to have that.
Next up.
What was your favorite project?
I have the favorite projects that I have in my life are the ones I'm doing now, normally. The ones that have made an indelible impression are Mandalorian, and even a deeper impression, Better Call Saul, Gustavo Fring. I have a show that's on AMC and AMC Plus, debuting tomorrow night, called Parish, which thank you, I'm really proud of, because I get to play a character that you've never seen before. And so watch and tell me what you think of that. So I've had so many roles in my career, but there are some that have me shine more than others. And in Parish, I'm the star of the show, I'm #1. So you get to see a lot of me in a way that you've never seen me before, doing many things you've never seen me do before. So please watch if you can.
Yes.
Were you a Star Wars fan before playing Moff Gideon?
I was. I was an early Star Wars fan. The Star Wars franchise really interests me because it is based on mythology. And those mythological stories, George Lucas was a friend of Joseph Campbell, a really great mythologist. And I think that mythology guides us. It can be a clue to guiding us in our lives. It's the story, the mythological story is that of the hero and the heroine. And believe it or not, you should feel this way every day in your life. You should feel like you're the champion of yourself. You're the champion of your own dreams. You're the champion of the world around you. Because your happiness and your happiness is a choice. You make that choice. So you can be a partner in creating what your life will be. And so the early Star Wars movies for me allowed me to understand that I could be the hero. I could be the heroic anti-hero. And if you apply that to your lives, it can change your life forever. Why do I come to Comic-Cons? The major reason is that people are in enchantment and joy. They're unjaded. They're cosplaying as their favorite people or characters. It's empowering. So if I could tell you anything, to be empowered and excited about your own existence, and to be constantly learning and curious about the world, and to be happy with what you do is what we're here for. And to measure your success, yeah, it's really what we're here for. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My question is not really about the movies that you were in. It's about the memes that they did to you. Have you ever reacted to them and how you felt about it?
Can you repeat that?
My question is not really about the movies. It's about the memes that they did to you. Have you ever reacted to them and how you felt about it?
The memes they have made.
The memes, yes. Okay, I think the memes are great because they put me out there in a different way. I do worry about the memes of Gustavo Fring for 10-year-olds who've never seen. Why do you laugh so? Who've never seen Breaking Bad and they shouldn't see it until they're 13 or 14. I mean, social media puts things out there that I think might be inappropriate for someone too young. I've met many young people who know my character of Gustavo Fring, and I look right at their parents. Some, they're 10, 11 years old, and their parents say, no, he knows you or she knows you from your memes. So And that's okay as long as the memes are appropriate. I have more than 10,000, 12,000 memes. I'm probably somewhere in a record for memes. I think they're fun, and I think why not have them, because they allow people to get an entree into my characters, and it might drive them to the show, and they can see something phenomenal and fantastic. You're welcome.
Hello, Giancarlo.
Hola.
My name is Giancarlo.
Yeah, Giancarlo, I met you earlier. Piacere.
My question is, what do you think about being fan cast as Professor X for the MCU? And has Marvel or anyone approached you about this fan cast or anything?
You know, Marvel is a great company, and I love the idea. It's been fan casted that I could possibly be Professor X. And I think that's a great role for me to think about playing. I think it would be fantastic. They seem to not be ready to do that yet, but when they are, my hat is in the ring.
Ooh.
Hello, Gustavo Free. It's always good to see myself.
It's good to see you, Gustavo.
It's a pleasure. Well, I have a question of a certain episode of Breaking Bad on which Hank asked us about our past on Chile, about the dictatorship of Pinochet, on which we gave a certain information. Was that information real about us?
When Hank talked about Pinochet,
Yeah, when they asked us where do we come from, that we had certain information that we manipulated properly. We don't know.
it's very possible. I always felt that Gustavo had a military background. I've always felt that he was someone who was moving up in the military and decided to make a switch and go on his own. And I think it had to have been in the Pinochet government. So that's my backstory in case there's ever the rise of the Gus.
It will be interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question from our producer that I have to ask because not she will kill me. Can you tell us why Gus left the bar? Does he feel like he can't be happy because he lost the love of his life?
It's a very good question. Gustavo had just been so threatened by Lalo Salamanca, and he had been through a trauma. So he comes out of that trauma in episode, I guess it's 605, no, 607, 608, 609, and somewhere in there, right? And he wants to have a life again because he's been shuttered in for months trying to figure out how to stay alive. I think he leaves the bar because he realizes he still has work to do. I mean, if you look at 401 or Breaking Bad, get back to work. And Gus's mentality is he's always working, and he can't let his guard down. And if he let his guard down to stay and drink that bottle of wine and have a good time, he wouldn't be as focused as he would be the way it is. He got up, he left, he shut it down, and that's a perfect entrance into Breaking Bad because Better Call Saul happened way before Breaking Bad.
Next question.
The first time I've ever been introduced to your magnificent work was through Monkey Bones, starring Brendan Fraser and directed by Henry Selick. So, do you have any fond memories playing Hypnos, the god of sleep, and making Brendan miserable and locking him away?
I really love this particular movie. If you haven't seen it, see Monkey Bone. Brendan is really great. Bridget Fonda is great. I had a really good time playing Hypnos. I had a 4-hour makeup to put horns on my head and make my face red. Hypnos, for those of you who don't know, is the god of sleep. And he's half man and half satyr. And so I had to do a bunch of puppetry on this movie. Because I had walked on my knees with a green suit on, and the breastplate and the legs of Hypnos were dangling in front of me. So I had to walk and make the legs move by moving my shoulders. So I was part actor, part puppeteer, and then I put on that dinner jacket and had all my makeup on, but I shot the whole thing on my knees. So it was really, really interesting to do that piece. Henry Selick is a genius. I love that movie, and I'm so glad that you saw it.
Yeah, I was like a kid at that time, and I went to see it in theaters with like Cornell Maya. I was amazed about Stu as an artist, being an artist myself and drawing all the time before becoming an artist myself. So, yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Also, never saw Akila coming on me during the Jungle Book.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Esposito. My name is Alejandro. We share the same profession. I am a professional actor. So my question is, what advice would you give to a Puerto Rican actor, someone who was born and raised here in Puerto Rico, who wants to have a career either in Los Angeles or in New York? What advice would you give to a Puerto Rican?
Leave Puerto Rico. I could tell you a lot of things, but you said you want to have a career in New York or Los Angeles, so what are you doing here? Bye. I'll buy you a ticket. I mean, you know...
I'm working here.
Well, then you should work for yourself here. I mean, if you really want to be an actor, there's not much of a business here. You have to create it. If you build it, they will come. You have to get your partners together and people together and make film in Puerto Rico. Make TV shows in Puerto Rico. Even if it's Puerto Rican germinating the subject matter in Puerto Rico, then sell it to someone in Hollywood. You can do that. We have iPhones. Anyone can make a film. And I hear a lot that there's no infrastructure here for that. But there doesn't need to be. There only needs to be you. To empower yourself to do the impossible, you realize when you start to do it, it's not impossible. The show that I have coming on tomorrow night took me 8 years to get on AMC. 8 years. I first got the idea from a British television show almost 9 years ago. I never gave up. And I had partners with FX. I finally got a partner in A&E. I needed a bigger producer to make it because A&E couldn't make it. I had it at the History Channel. All these people had it for a little while. We went through a scripts version with them and they turned it back to me. I finally worked and worked and worked and changed it each time until I finally got AMC to bite. So it's the same journey. You know, in order to have it, oftentimes we say, we don't have the means here. But you have the most beautiful island in the world. And you have all these industrious people. And everyone in this room has an iPhone, right? So you can start to make short movies. You can start to go to Toyota, to Land Rover. What businesses do you have here? You go to these people and you say, I would like to help you make a commercial for your product. I want to make a grassroots commercial because they make their commercials in America. You are America, we've forgotten, right? In LA and Chicago and all these places. But you can convince them and you can make it here. That way everyone in this room becomes a part of that crew. People in Puerto Rico gain from the remuneration from making that for them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My name is Carlos Rodriguez from Habla Gamer. My question is, it was difficult to accept the role in Star Wars since the fandom is intense and can often harm the actors' careers?
Since what?
The
fandom?
Since the fandom is intense and can often harm
since the fandom
careers.
is really intense and sometimes they can harm our actor's career.
I don't know. The fandom is intense for the Star Wars universe. You're talking about when an actor steps out of line and does something and their career gets ruined because they do something in their personal life?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, look, we all have a voice, and I'm convinced that people want to be seen. And I'm encouraging you to be seen, to do something to be seen. But if you say something inappropriate or do something inappropriate, the world is very small now with social media. Everyone knows that you stepped out of line and made a mistake. So either you have to say right away, I don't know if you mean it. Like, your integrity is important. The truth and honesty of your integrity is important. I made a mistake. I mixed up my words. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say this. You have to clarify it and take it out of the universe right away. You can't let it linger out there. You can't say anti-Semitic things about other people and expect the world to accept you, because we look at each other, that's the way you feel. And you can feel that way. I'm not saying you should feel that way and hide it, but if you say that, and we don't say to you, wait a minute, what are you saying? I don't agree with you. I'm about all humanity and all people. And so that's a problem. We have to take responsibility for ourselves, but because we're in the world that we're in, we have to take responsibility for each other too.
Thank you.
You are.
Hello, Mr. Esposito. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Obviously, you've been a part of a lot of internationally big shows lately, like The Boys, The Mandalorian, Better Call Saul. But how was it experiencing another show that you were a part of that blew up also, Cyberpunk Edge Runners? How was that for you?
I love doing that. Cyberpunk Edge Runners was all on the mic. So I have a whole career that I do in the studio. And I love that because it allows you to be a visionary, because you only have your imagination. In Cyberpunk, I had the film, the show, but it was completely in Japanese. And my job was to come in and actually revoice the Japanese version into English. And so some of the lines fit, some of the lines didn't fit. And I had to get a sense of what that was and how to do it. And it was a very exciting thing for me to do because, again, they didn't have an English version. So my translation became very important. I love that character, Faraday, and I love the animation for Cyberpunk. I think it's a great project.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
What was it that gave you a boom in the world of fame, and how did it feel?
One more time.
Can you read? What was it that gave you a boom in the world of fame, and how did it feel?
Can you just that?
What was it that made me boom in the world of fame? I think for me, it's being involved in so many different projects. There's no one route to be famous or successful. I never tried to be famous. I just wanted to be happy, creating characters that I loved. I love what I do. So if you're chasing success, oftentimes it's going to elude you. If you're chasing a craft and loving if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So for me, I wanted to be a star really early on, and I realized that that wasn't really what I wanted. It was really that I wanted to move my audience from one place to another, to allow people to see the human condition through what I do, and to fall in love over and over and over again with the craft, with the words that people wrote for me, with the words I wrote for myself. So to me, I was never chasing fame per se. I gave that up years ago. And then I had one rise to stardom, 2 rises to stardom, 3 rises to stardom, and then I realized, social media and the world of media itself gives you the opportunity to become super famous. But that is a whole other arena. Because when you become really super famous, you have to pull yourself back to the work. All that matters is the work. All that really matters is that you're happy, right? So when you get to a point in your life where you don't need to be validated by your parents, by your boyfriend, by your girlfriend, when you can wake up in the morning and be validated by yourself, that's when you know you've made it. That's truly it.
Hi, my name is Sebastian. I'm a big fan. And you played a lot of villains before. And now James Gunn is like rebooting the DC universe, and then there's the Matt Reeves Batman films. I always envisioned you playing like a Batman villain. And since Gustavo Fring's death, when he blows up, he has that the Two-Face type look. I always envisioned yourself like playing Two-Face in Batman. So my question is, if you have like the offer to play a villain in a Batman film? Who would
Is
it be?
James Gunn doing that?
Yeah, he's rebooting.
When? I really love James Gunn, and I know he's making Superman very soon, so Batman must be a little ways off. I was talking to him about the possibility of being in Superman, and it didn't work out. And I think it's okay. I think James Gunn is a genius. I asked you that question because, look, what you do today determines your tomorrow. If you have a dream, you would be well served, or I suggest that you think about that dream every day. You talk about it. You invest other people to join you in that dream. You cultivate that dream, and the universe will hear you, and it will come to you. There's no doubt about it. It is simple science of intentional thinking. If your intention is good, good will come to you. If you have an intentionality of being successful so that you can help other people be successful, then everything in the world will come to you. If you want to be inspired inside of you, then your job is to inspire others. I think James Gunn is a genius. It didn't work out for me on Superman, but it will work out for me on Batman.
Hi, my name is Carlos.
Carlos.
My question is, you've been a great actor in many great films and television. So what's the one role that you wish you could be in, out of the movie from the past, present, future, one film that you like heard or wish you could be a part of that haven't been a part of?
Well, I think we've already talked about two of them. One is Professor X in the Marvel Universe, and the other is Batman for James Gunn. Why do I say that? So if you're always the smartest knife in the drawer, then where is there to go? I want to work with visionary directors who are inspiring to me. I want to work with actors who are better than me. Now, most of the time when you're in a room with someone who's smarter than you, I know for me, I used to feel a little bit intimidated, but I don't anymore. Or I used to feel a little jealous. Well, I don't anymore. I want to be around people who are smarter than me because then they have something to teach me. Hopefully, I'll have something to share with them as well. You can have a lot of smarts, and you can also have a lot of soul. And some of us have different gifts. So how could you be ever jealous of anyone who has more soul than you, more rhythm than you, smarter than you? You have to identify the quality in yourself that you have that makes you you. Like, you're absolutely unique as you are. And your superpower is to live that uniqueness and be yourself and love yourself. And bring your special brand of love, compassion, excitement, energy to other people. That's what we're here for. That's what we have, and that's what I want to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Speaking of really good directors, I know you work on Netflix, The Gentleman. I love that show, by the way. If you haven't seen it, The Gentleman, go watch it. How was it working with Guy Ritchie?
I love Guy Ritchie. I think he's an interesting director. He can be a bit, he's interesting because he always works on the script all the way up to the moment you shoot it. And you could be in the middle of the scene with a one-page monologue, and he could say, I think we've thought about something. I'm like, what, Guy? Well, I think maybe it's about aristocracy. And maybe it's about, maybe we forgot to add women into the mix here. I mean, he all the way to the end. If you change that line, and you make this line that line, and you put the first paragraph before the last one, when you're talking about the wine, we'll talk about this first, and then go into the decanting of the wine. You follow me? You follow me? And so I adore Guy Ritchie. When in life is any day like the last? We make our days the same because we as human beings, we desire and we wish for a certain comfortability, consistency. When in actuality, and we want to be comfortable and consistent, and we want life to be the same with no surprises. But I want to tell you something. That's not the way to live. Life is always evolving and changing. So when I worked with Guy Ritchie, and I had learned a 2-page monologue, and I came in, and 10 minutes before he talked to me, he made me a collaborator. He said, I think we forgot something in our lives. And we sat there and rewrote it together. And then he said, can you do this? Can you learn this in 10 minutes? And I said, I'll do the best I can. And I learned it and I nailed it. It taught me to not feel, don't get comfortable with life always being the same just because you go to the same job every day. Don't start looking at your feet because it's going to be just like it was yesterday. Don't expect that. The best lives, the most creative thought form, the most brilliant ideas come from your being malleable to know that everything is always changing. And then your job is just to keep up with that change and maybe even facilitate that change. And your job is to be the best human being you can be in an ever-changing atmosphere of our world.
Hola, Giancarlo.
Hola.
¿Cuál es el personaje que más te ha gustado interpretar?
So what's your favorite character that you have done so far?
I have many, but my favorite that has really changed my life from inside out is Gustavo Fring.
Thank you.
This whole bit. Have you ever reached out to Sega to play a character in the Like the Dragon franchise?
Which franchise?
Like the Dragon franchise from Rebuild as
Can you repeat the
You
franchise?
say Sega?
Yeah, he's talking about being part of the Like a Dragon franchise. Yakuza series.
Oh,
It's
the
a video game
Yakuza.
series.
Oh, no, I haven't. But why don't you reach out to them for me? Tell them I'd be willing to do it if you do it.
Hi. I was wondering if, other than Marvel or DC, like, what other franchise would you like to be in? Could be video games, movies, whatever.
Well, I love movies. I mean, that's what I love to do. And I'm about to direct my 3rd movie, hopefully in September, October. I like to develop for myself because I don't want to wait. If you wait for someone to do it for you, it's not going to get done. If you do it yourself or plant the seed and talk about it and bring people in, then it gets done. Because then your attention goes out to the world and you call it to yourself. I would love to do a Marvel franchise because I haven't done that yet. I'd love to work with James Gunn because that world of comics always has appealed to me. And then I want to make my own work. Because my own work has a sense of uplifting and has ideas that pertain to us healing the world through a good story. And so for me, I'm a director. I like to direct. I'm a producer. I'm able to, I have this stamina to bring those stories to a network and to work that around until I can get it made. If you want to do something that really moves you and empowers you, you do something you're passionate about. So you don't try to fit yourself into someone else's project. You cultivate your own, no matter what that is.
Hello, Giancarlo.
Hi.
So, The Boys Season 4 is going to premiere in June, I believe, right?
Yes, it is.
So, what was your experience filming The Boys, and what do you think if that your character that you acted as could make a huge impact on that season?
It was a very circuitous way that I got into The Boys. I always want to work with people I like. I was in the studio in Toronto working on a TV show called Jet. And I came around the corner and there was Eric Kripke standing there and he went, oh. And we started talking and he said, I said, what are you doing? He said, a show called The Boys. And he took a step back and looked at me And I said, Eric, I know what you're thinking. He said, well, if you know what I'm thinking, would you? And I said, sure, I would. Call me. I said, you're not going to be able to make a deal. You're going to make me an offer, and I'm going to refuse it because, you know, I know how television works. If they never offer you your value. Everyone has a value, a worth, a value in the commercial world. And to determine your worth and value, you have to determine it for yourself and speak up. So I said, Eric, when they do call and they can't make a deal, just know that he had my cell number. Call me, text me, and I'll make sure that we get to a place where I could do it for you. The Boys, so I changed the game in the first season of The Boys because Stan Edgar is that corporate powerhouse who's not afraid of these superheroes with human emotions. That's why I did the show. I feel like we as human beings are superheroes. Right? I really believe that. If you don't believe that, you should. We don't need the phone to communicate. We don't need to send letters or carrier pigeon. You know, all we need is to tune into a certain vibration of the world. Why do you think when you're thinking about someone so much that all of a sudden they turn up on your phone, the phone rings, or they text you, and you say these words, I was just thinking about you. Why do you think that happens? Because you have a superpower, because you're tuned in on a certain level. So The Boys, for me, I love that show because Stan Edgar's cool as a cucumber. He's not afraid of Homelander. You are not a god. You are simply bad products.
Thank you, thank you.
Hi, Giancarlo.
Hola.
Giancarlo, there's an episode on the last season of The Boys that presented a flashback of you. And there's an actor that played you, he nailed you in that episode. If there's the possibility they made a movie of the rise of Gustavo Fring, what actor are you open to play you? And also, what alternate title would be good for that series? Would it be...
I've given you the title, and there would be no other actor but me. I mean, the kid who did me as Stan Edgar, you know, I think he was in Gen Z maybe, or maybe he was just in the flashback. He was good. I give him that. But I've already done Better Call Saul 6 years before. I can do the show that I've coined and talked about over and over again, The Rise of Gus.
We only have time for a couple more questions, so I will ask you to ask your questions fast.
Rápido, rápido, rápido.
Rápido.
It's a pleasure to be here. I thank the Sovereign of the Universe that I have this opportunity. Your mindset, demeanor, and your style speaks for itself. I like to think that I'm your number one fan. I'm 100% Puerto Rican, raised in New York, and I like to have the opportunity to give you what the finest rum of Puerto Rico. And happy birthday on the 26th, April 26th, your birthday. And I'm glad
Yes.
that you came to Puerto Rico. And if I may, I'd like to give this to you.
Absolutely, come on, gracias. Thank you for your compliment. Keep going with the questions. Thank you. What's your name? What is your name?
Julio.
Julio Giancarlo. Big round of applause for Julio. He looks a lot like me. Julio, we love you. All right.
Awesome.
Oh, I knew it was this.
You like house music? My number's here.
Awesome. Gracias, Julio. There's a man who asks for what he wants. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Lovely.
So Giancarlo, I'm sorry to ask you this, but I was wondering that, so your role as Baxter Starman in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, I want to ask if you want to return as that role as a flashback.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Oh, Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles?
Oh, yes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know, poor Baxter Stockman went up with the lab. I don't know. I know you. I love doing that. I know Seth Rogen. By the way, Seth Rogen is one of the producers of The Boys as well. I would love to come back in a flashback. Let's put that out there. I love that movie and I love Baxter Stockman. Thank you.
Well, right. Yeah, good.
Good afternoon, Senor Esposito. It's an honor to be in the presence of greatness. My question is, when you receive a script, do you read it and think, or have you received the script and thought that you needed to add your special touch to the character to bring it more to life?
Yeah, sometimes I do. And as I get more mature, I want to work with great writers where I don't have to touch up their script, so that I can just insert myself. What I do is a channel. What we do as human beings is we channel, whether you know it or not, right? If you pray and meditate, you can be gifted a new idea, but that comes from spirit. We watch so much entertainment on our phones, on our iPads, no matter what the delivery system is, that we're affected by that. So how often do we get affected by our own interior, right? That's quiet prayer, meditation. That's being in nature, listening to the waves, and then an idea just hits you. That's called intuition or gut. What I do is I read people what they wrote, if it's derived from a book or something else, and I channel it. So I ask the universe, how can I make this role deeper? What qualities of me can I blend with what they wrote to have the words on the page become alive? So that's either a process of adding to, a lot of the time it's a process of taking away. It's the same thing with us as human beings. If you want to move forward and get around who you've been, if you're stuck in drudgery for so long, then you have to do what? You have to subtract. Take away all of the thoughts that allow you to think that you're not good enough. Take away all of the feeling that allows you to look in the mirror and say, I'm not handsome or I'm not pretty enough. Take away all of the things that are negative. How do you feel negative and positive? You can feel it, right? Like energy flies. So when someone says something to me, oh man, she's so or he's so, that's already, ooh, you can feel the energy go down. Ooh, I don't like him. Ooh, I don't like her because she talks too much. Ooh, right? That takes your energy away. It sucks you dry. When you can say something about someone, wow, look at those colors you're wearing. Honest, truthful. That blue, that green, the way you dressed up, it's perfect. You feel that energy? It's a different energy. So we are physical beings that are energetic. And so you give what you get. I like the way you look. I like that wig on you. You're not just saying it to say it. You're being honest, organic, and truthful and real. And if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Uno más.
One more and that's it.
Hola y bienvenido a Puerto Rico.
Gracias.
My question is, I saw you for the first time at Once Upon a Time. So my question is, what do you miss the most about Once Upon a Time? And if you are still in contact with any of the cast?
Yes, I see Lana Parrilla from time to time. I love
She was
her.
here a couple of years ago.
My evil queen. She was so mean to me, but I still love her. Very, very, very much. She's about the only one that I see once or twice a year. I don't see Lee too much or any of the others because I think some of them live in Canada, in Vancouver. But that project was really lovely because here we are again with a story that's mythical in that it's Grimm's fairy tales. And the fairy tales were frightening and scary. They were meant to teach us something. It wasn't only entertainment on the page as a book, as a poem. It was about learning about the world. So Once Upon a Time will always have a very special place in my heart. I love doing it because it was very romantic for me to be the bumbling Sydney who loved someone so much and that love wasn't being returned. And then to be the genie who was all so powerful and I got a chance to be in the genie bottle and come out of the genie bottle and be this other human being Like what I do is a wonderful thing. I can live in the world of imagination. Imagination, enchantment, and joy. Your imagination can lead to your vision, can lead to your inspiration, can lead to you having the life that you want, exactly the way you want it. It's cultivating your thought form, stilling your mind when you need to, and cultivating an imagination and a compassion and love for yourself that forwards your goal of what you want. Your intention should be always to serve each other. You can get all that you want, but your intention can't only be about yourself. It can't only be about the I and the me. It has to be about the we and the us. Because we, believe it or not, we were made in each other's likeness. We're all the same. What I can do, you can do. And some of you can do it even better. Believe me, it's true. And cultivate that yearning, that curiosity, that the discipline to change your life for the better every moment of every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to stand with it. Let's say thank you.
We love you. Puerto Rico. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This same